Hi, my name's John Leanhouse. I'm the Strike Fighter Wing Commander for the Atlantic Fleet. I am the Commodore for the entire Hornet community on the east coast of the United States.
My name is Lieutenant James McGovern. I've been flying in the Navy for about 9 years, and I've been flying this plane here, the F-18, for about 5 years now.
My responsibility as the Wing Commander for the Atlantic Fleet is to ensure that all the deployed squadrons are trained and equipped to do their mission. In conjunction with that, one of the additional requirements that we have is to demonstrate our aircraft and display their awesome combat capability in front of the public and show them what we do on a daily basis in training for and equipping ourselves to go fight the next generation war.
A lot of the things we do when we're flying the F-18 is usually in section as a minimum, just due to the fact that it's a single-seat aircraft. And if you're to have problems, you always like the second guy there, your wingman there, to help you with any type of emergency procedures that you may have. A plane like the F-14 is a two-seater, so usually they're doing some sort of crew coordination inside the cockpit, whereas we do not have that luxury in this plane just due to the fact that it's single seat. So the fact that we did the section work is we do that in every day, the training that we do every day, so it's really nothing new to us.
And what you have here is the office for a strike fighter pilot. This is downtown going to work. You get in here, instead of having a nice big mahogany desk and a lot of pens and papers up there, we have an automated cockpit that tells us what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and how to put bombs on target and kill the enemy on a first pass.
The left outboard station is what we call Station 1, and we have up to 9 stations going all the way to the right side. Usually Station 1 and 9 will carry our air-to-air missiles. The inboard stations 2 and 3, we could carry our air-to-ground ordnance.
Individual displays are movable to take information you want on the aircraft, whether it be engine performance information, whether it be radar, forward-looking infrared radar, situational awareness page, flight controls, moving map.
That big thing you see there on Station 5 is what we call the drop tank, and that could carry up to 2,000 pounds of fuel. We have the capability of carrying up to 3 drop tanks at one time, but normally when we're at sea on the operating around the aircraft carrier, we usually use a 2 drop tank configuration.
It may look complicated, it may look intense. The reality is you study each section at a time, and by the time you're all done studying, it all makes sense to you, and all of a sudden everything starts working together.
The launch bar here, this is what you lower prior to getting shot off on the catapult, and usually you go once you lower that, you put your power up to mill, and once it releases you, it goes from 0 to 120 in 2 seconds, which is a pretty good kick in the pants there.
F-18 Hornet on the takeoff roll. Gear up.
What's really great about this airplane is it has a special system called the HOTAS system, hands-on throttle and stick. So you've got the stick to control and the throttles that go back and forth, but on them, not only do they control the power of the aircraft and the movement of all the flight controls, but you in essence have your radar control, the display and the information you want off of it, whether you want to select the Sparrow, the AIM-9, the AMRAAM, the gun, if you want to pull the trigger, shoot the gun, shoot the missiles, trim it, and then continue to move information around with this castle switch that will allow you to put different information on different displays. And then on the throttle, you have a control mechanism to move the cursors around to select the target, designate the target, and then prosecute the target. What we're going to do now is we're going to start putting on the costume we wear when we go fly these high-performance jets. What this is an anti-G suit that inflates bladders along your thighs and your calves and your waistline to ensure that when we're under high G stress loading, upwards of 7, 8, 9 Gs, the blood that would normally go to your lower extremities is precluded from doing that, and in essence it stays up in your head so you continue to think and not black out. So what I'm putting on here is what we call speed jeans. So you go fast, you put on your speed jeans, you pull a lot of G's, and the blood stays in your head, and that, my friend, is a good thing. What we'll do now is we'll add on top of the anti-G suit a torso harness that's fitted out with all the fittings that attach me to the aircraft, as well as it has additional support equipment in the form of an oxygen mask from which to breathe from at high altitude, which has a microphone in it so that I can communicate on the radios with just a click of a mic and not have to worry about moving a boom mic around. And in addition to that is all my survival equipment that carries radios, survival flares, water, additional tools I might need for surviving, a knife, cutting shroud lines. And on top of all of that, the most crucial part to a naval aviator is the survival water flotation device that should inadvertently have the misfortune to have to go into the water, I will float long enough to be picked up by a helicopter and brought back for another day's fight and not end up down there with Davy Jones and the fishies.
Here to come back to hit it again.
As you can see there, if you pan down to the landing gear, you can see it's a pretty beefy landing gear. And the reason for that is the fact that these F-18s are taking off and landing on an aircraft carrier. In order to do that, that's not some sort of gentle landing. It's a real hard landing, so therefore you see the beefed up strut.
They try to catch the third of four wires with the tail hook, and on carrier landings, they also, as they hit the deck, bring the throttle up to full power, just in case they miss that wire, and they will be able to get on out of there. Now watch this action here. Here we go.
First night landing you do is in the F-18. They don't let you do that in the training command. All I remember is it being pretty much a blur. You're real nervous until you actually get on deck, but once you're on deck, you really don't have that too much time because now they're taxiing you off and you're gonna do about 3 other ones. So things come real quick. After a while, you start feeling just a little bit more comfortable to the point where once you get into the fleet, like I said, the daytime landings on the carrier, it can be a lot of fun, but anytime you have to fly at night, you have really no visual acuities, especially if there's not a moon out, you have no horizon, so you're solely relying on your instruments. But once again, it's something that you do often, that you're just pretty much part of the job, but it's probably the worst part of the job.
In addition to being able to fly fast, an aircraft of this type does have to be able to fly slow enough to be maneuverable to get back onto the carrier. Slow is a relative term, of course. You're somewhere probably well over 150 or 40 miles an hour when you're landing. There you see the tail hooks down, landing gear down.
Every opportunity we get to participate in an air show, we love doing. So people come up to us, the young kids, they ask us questions, and I just remember what it was when I was young, going to air shows, being able to talk to pilots and meet people, especially the fighter pilots, and it's just a big kick in the pants for us, and hopefully we'll give the people a show that they'll enjoy.
Flying the F-18 Hornet is, without a doubt, the most exciting thing you can do in life, no matter what the career. It goes beyond words. Unless you've done it, you just can't understand the thrill when you slam those throttles to military and you've got 32,000 pounds of thrust pushing you down the runway from on an aircraft carrier from 0 to 180 miles an hour in less than 2 seconds. That is an e-ticket ride plus.